Hello, cheers, and welcome back to another video. My name is Taylor, and I just finished my very last book for the Make Your Myth Take a Readathon. I feel like I'm doing a Weight Watchers commercials right now, like, hello, my name is Taylor, and I just lost 500 pounds with Weight Watchers. That's an insane number to lose. That was just the first thing I said. Been doing the Make Your Myth Take a Readathon, which is hosted by A Frolic Through Fiction and Beige Pages, and it has been such an interesting experience. So this is going to be kind of like, I'm calling it a wine wrap-up. So we're doing a little wrap-up video to talk about the books that I have read. I have 3 videos that I am going to link in the description. I have my TBR video that I started with, and I only changed one book. I DNF'd one book, and we're going to talk about it today. I did talk about it a little bit in my last video, but I just finished my last book, and instead of making separate videos for this, I'm just kind of going to do a little wrap up here. I'm not going to make a drink. We're calling this a wine wrap up. It's boxed wine. So this is my very first readathon. I've talked about it in my first couple videos, which I'm going to link down in the description. But being my first, I had a really good time doing it. It was very different from anything that I've ever participated in, so I had a really good time, and I think that having the structure of a readathon really helped me to basically work through my TBR and actually stick to it. So I did the Royal to Rogue, and I started off as a royal spy turned assassin. So the first book that I had to read was a book that I've heard good things about. So I decided to go with Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. And the reason I chose this one was, first of all, I love Cassandra Clare. I read all of her other books. I've talked about this. But I was a little bit late to reading this. I think I read this like 4 or 5 months. I don't know, it was released in March, so it wasn't that bad. But normally I read them right as they come out. So I waited about 4 or 5 months to read this one because I wasn't completely sold on reading it. But I heard such good things about it, so I thought, why not pick it up? So I read this one first. I have a video on it where I made a drink that I literally made my favorite drink called Champagne of Gold. And I'm gonna stick to it. That's my favorite drink right now. So I gave this a really good star rating, and I gave that drink a really good star rating if you want to go look at it. And then the second one that I read, I was going to read Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and I talked about it in my House of Earth and Bloody Mary one because I ended up DNFing it and rereading House of Earth and Blood. I think I'm going to read Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson at some point. Like, I really do want to get to it, and I really think that it would be a good book for me, but it just wasn't a good book for me in the moment. And I really wanted to reread this book because I had some strong opinions about it, and I didn't know if it was like, if I should reread it and actually like take a minute to really think about it, as opposed to leave things off of my first impression. And I'm glad I did. I ended up liking it a little bit more the second time. It's not my favorite Sarah J. Maas book, but I still enjoyed it, and I think it was good for me that week to actually like sit down and read it. I already knew that I was gonna like it, and I already knew that it was going to be a nice light reading for me. So I'm happy I ended up picking this one up. So yeah. And then I took a hiatus. I'm so sorry. I was on vacation with my family. So well, not really vacation. We're still in a pandemic, but I went to go see my family. The next one was a book that you had to keep a secret. Now, this one, the real reason why I didn't film a video for this one was because I wanted to do a secret drink, but there's no way to do like a mystery drink without having someone to provide the mystery, you know? So I ended up just not filming a video for it. But I am going to talk about it in this video because this one was a really interesting read. So the book that I was keeping a secret was actually Scythe by Neal Shusterman. Everyone has been talking about this book trilogy for the last few years, and it took me a while to actually like want to read it. I think mainly because there was so much talk about it, and the things that they were comparing it to were books that I loved but let me down. So like a lot of people had compared this to like the Divergent trilogy. I loved Divergent, and then I feel like the last book really let me down, and now that I am, you know, an adult, I just don't really connect with it. So I didn't think I was really going to connect with this book. But I decided to pick it up. It is it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it deserves all of the hype that it got. Like, people were calling it a perfect trilogy, and I really did enjoy it. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5 stars. Like, I would totally read this book again, and I probably will read it again at some point. And I'm gonna continue this series, but I don't think it was as good as people hyped it up to be. But overall, I just felt like I could guess what was coming, and no one ever likes when that happens in a book. I love to guess and be wrong and be surprised. But I felt like a lot of the time I knew what was gonna happen, and it happened. So I'm hoping that the next book will actually change my perspective a little bit, and I hope I'm gonna like it a lot more, because I really do like these characters and I really do like the world. I just thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And then finally, it was well, I guess that's where I changed over to Assassin, which is fitting that I picked an Assassin book. But yeah, and then after that, I just had to read a short book. So I decided to go with What We Talk About When We Talk About Love by Raymond Carver. This one, there's not really much to talk about. I read one of the stories when I was taking a creative writing class. So it was good. I love this book. I love how much it teaches you about dialogue and communication. Before I was an English major, I was a communication studies major. So I knew a lot about human communication, nonverbal communication, and so it was interesting seeing that type of communication theory being put to work inside of a text, like where the author focused so much on using subtext, on using side dialogues, on using nonverbal communication between his characters. I thought that that was done so well, and it was so interesting to actually read that, because I feel like in a lot of books there isn't that type of subtext and that layers to communication. It's very much straightforward, and like the most layers it gets is sarcasm. But this one was very much just like really breaking down different theories of communication and applying them, and I really appreciated that because I love comp theory. So yeah, overall, I did it. I read my 4 books. I don't want to say like the readathon kind of put me into a reading slump, because I don't think that that's necessarily true, but I think I was reading a lot before. Like for the past 3 months I read 8 books, and then this time I only read 4 books. But I think it was a lot of pressure because I was basically filming a video for every single book, and I was also editing my videos plus Rayanne's videos, so it was just a lot of work. And we got a lot of stuff going on. My fiance has been home a lot, so we've been hanging out a lot more, which means, you know, less time spent reading. So hopefully next month I kick it back into gear and start reading the 8 books a month again, but I might be moving next month, so probably not gonna happen. But yes, this was my first wine wrap-up. I dug it. I dig it. I was gonna make a scythe sangria. I still might, but instead we're just doing boxed wine. I think I did what I set out to do, which is to make some friends, to learn a little bit more about BookTube and the reading community as we are new to BookTube. I think it was a really good experience for me to have, and I'm really glad that I did it. And I'm totally going to participate in more, because I just want to be on here to make friends and do what we all love to do, which is reading and talking about books and talking about characters that we love. And I'm really excited to experiment more with that. I have been on Twitter constantly. You can follow me at TaylorTots57. But I've been on Twitter constantly interacting with people, trying to make new friends. It's been such a cool experience to like try to break into the BookTube community. It's hard. Like you know, it's a little bit hard because everyone already kind of knows each other, and everyone's already has a certain relationship with each other. So it's a little bit hard to try to break in and make new friends. So if you want to be friends, let's be friends. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been such a fun experience, and I can't wait to make more videos like this in the future. If you like this type of wrap-up style video, please let me know. I will keep doing the wine wrap-ups. And I really look forward to actually making videos like this, because they're easy to film and they're fun, and I get to just sit here and talk about myself in front of the camera. What more could I want? But yes, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. And let us know what type of other content you guys want to see, because we are open to suggestions and we're open to trying new things. This is what this YouTube channel is about. Basically trying something that's out of our comfort zone. So, we love you. Cheers!